This year, throughout the entire year, the North Node is moving through the sign of Aries, which is a very entrepreneurial sign and is a sign around being independent, being courageous, and sometimes being a little bit aggressive in pursuit of the things that you want and desire to create. All right, and last but not least, you have Pisces rising and sun. For you guys, this Capricorn new moon is happening January 11th in your 11th house. And I love this because the 11th house tends to be a very positive one. 5th house, 9th house, 11th house tend to produce very positive results in our lives. And I really feel like you guys might have some kind of wish being fulfilled or some kind of reassurance that a wish will be fulfilled, because I did pull this Merry Miracles card. So it definitely gives the energy that everything is going to work out in this really positive and miraculous kind of way, even if you are having doubts or worries that some of these things won't manifest how you thought they would. This new moon is making a square to the nodes, which is along your 2nd and 8th house axis. I'm particularly interested in the square to the North Node, which is conjunct Chiron loosely in your 2nd house. So part of these wishes that you have, part of these desires that you have, could be a little bit in contrast with some of your financial goals or some of your your like financial matters, the things that you have to be responsible for, the things that you are pursuing for managing your money. So there is, and this could also be talking about not just wishes, but it could also be talking about relationships, like friendships, communities could feel like they're a little bit at odds with your career goals, your financial goals in terms of making more money or buying a house or whatever that is. So these areas of your life are a little bit conflict, but we need to bring them together. We need to make some kind of plan. So we need to have a plan for this wish or a plan for this, these friendships and these connections, and how we can best integrate them into your financial story or your story around what you own, like a house or a car, that type of thing. And so I think part of this energy is quite spiritual because of this miracles card. And I think it ultimately also wants you to listen to your intuition about some of these matters, about how to best combine these things in your life, essentially. And the reason I say that also is because Saturn, the ruler of this moon, is in your 1st house and is sextiling Jupiter in your 3rd. So I feel like you are having a lot of access to divine information throughout this year, but especially at this new moon, where you guys are basically in a phase right now where you're building your life up. You're becoming more serious. You're becoming more mature, where you're trying to level up in some kind of way. And that could look really different for different people. Sometimes leveling up might mean that you have less responsibility, but you're moving into a more creative direction. For some of you, that could look like you wanting to have a kid, wanting to buy a house in a more traditional way. But regardless, there's usually an emphasis of fortifying and strengthening and building upon an identity that you have maybe always had within you that you haven't fully acted on, haven't fully committed to, and this is your year to do that. So that's a really big part of this year in general for you. And this Capricorn new moon is an extension of that. It's like a stepping stone along that longer journey where you're realizing some kind of goal or you're having some kind of wish. And you're trying to, again, make it work with some of the things that you either own or that you, or your money. So I guess let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to travel abroad, but you own a house. Maybe you're kind of trying to come to terms with how you can manage that. Do I want to sell my house? Do I want to, rent it out? Do I want to Airbnb it? I need to have some kind of creative solution to align with this wish, this dream that I've always had to live abroad, just an example, and my financial life or my possession life. Maybe I want to join this new online community, this new healer group, but I need to make a financial investment in order to do that, but I have another financial goal. So how do I make a compromise? How do I come up with a creative solution to benefit both? So that's kind of the energy of this, where you guys, again, are building upon your existing identity, enacting something that you've probably always felt drawn towards. You're doing that now this year, but you need to mitigate that or compromise or find solutions with the existing financial goals you have, or the existing financial commitments you have, or the things that you own, for that to make sense for you. And don't worry. It's going to come through. This dream, this wish is going to come through, because I have a feeling that some of you guys are concerned with this miracles card, that some of you guys are worried that it might not work out quite the way you're thinking it will. And it might be different, but I feel like it's going to feel like you have come to a completion, like you've reached it, even if the avenue for getting there is a little different than you initially anticipated, because it might take some unique, again, creative thinking with this squaring the nodes for you to actually be able to attain that goal. This new moon is trining Uranus in the 3rd house. So in terms of those divine downloads and insights, like I was saying earlier, you're thinking creatively, you're thinking outside the box, you're getting messages, you're going to know how to go about this. And it might be unexpected, again, in how you do it. You might not follow tradition in terms of how you go about this, but I highly recommend that you listen to these outside sources, to things that you don't normally think about. Like maybe you listen to a podcast and it generates this incredible idea for you that you never would have considered if you just were kind of going about your life normally. There's something where it's like, let's change the way that we think about things. Let's listen to new information. Let's allow downloads to come in and not try to interpret them too heavily, but really like sit with them how they are. There's something here. It's like your mind needs to alter a little bit, and you can't do that by doing your normal status quo. Jupiter in the 3rd is also trining Mars in the 11th. So I really feel like, again, that's where your ideas are going to come from, and then you implement them into your actions. This is also very social energy. So you can find the right people. If you talk to certain people, you might find some really great benefactors, or people who have answers for you, people who could give you a leg up, people who can tell you where to go, what to do, or they can at least be a friend and a support system throughout this process, be a sounding board. There's something here where people, online information, or outside sources is somehow beneficial for you at this time. So lean into that and think with an open mind. That's what I want to say. Think with an adaptable, curious, open mind, because there's a different way to do things than you might initially consider to get to this wish. That's really what I'm seeing here. Is I definitely think you're going to get the wish, but I think the avenue of getting there is different than you're thinking. And outside people can help you get that information, or spirit. You also have Venus and Sagittarius in your 10th house, making a trine to Chiron in the 2nd house. This is a time where you guys can have some healing around money and self-worth and career. You guys could have some healing in your self-concept as well, and kind of like what you feel like you're capable of, or what you want to achieve out in the world. You can start to build up your self-esteem in a better way, and start to also kind of dig through your current mindsets around your own limitations, or around how maybe there have been certain things that could have felt. With the Knight of Swords and the Hermit card, you guys might become aware of how there could have been some mindsets that were taking you down like many different avenues without committing to something fully. You are a mutable sign. You are a water sign. You're ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So it doesn't really have the most grounded energy, very stable, consistent energy. So you guys, I've had this feeling with this reading that there's something that you are enacting that you've wanted to do for a long time. But with this Knight of Swords, it's almost like it's been ephemeral. It's been like a wish that just comes and it goes, and it feels like, oh, it's just a wish, like it's not going to happen. But this is saying that if you want this thing, you can have this thing. But it's like needing to get a hold of your mindset and feel grounded and stable and committed in order to make this happen. And you have to kind of do the inner work to explore how your mind works, to explore how you may have been inconsistent in the past, or going in and out, or not fully committed to something in your head, or over worrying about something and getting in your own way. But there's something where it's like your mind has made this situation in the past maybe more again, like it kind of comes and goes. It's ephemeral or mercurial in nature. And I feel like you guys are becoming aware of that, so you can get a little bit more so you can trust the process more, get stable and grounded more, committed more. And that's what I'm seeing with Saturn in your first house. Like, let's commit. Let's commit. Let's not just talk about it. Let's not just think about it. Let's not just worry about it. Let's take the action. Let's commit. Let's do the things that we need to do, and think and be willing to do things differently also, which I think as a, mutable sign, you are totally willing to do things differently, which I really love. So I'm going to wrap up this reading by pulling a goddess card for you. So what is the goddess that is ruling over my Pisces this year, that is guiding my Pisces throughout 2024? What is the goddess that's guiding them throughout 2024? So for you guys, I got the home card. Wow, this has come out for a lot of people. So this could indicate that some of you guys are going to buy a home, have significant changes within the home, maybe move in with a partner, maybe decide to have a baby. There's something here with the home that feels very, very significant. Maybe you find friends that feel like home. You find a job that feels like home. You feel at home in your skin, in your body, but there's some sense of familiarity, comfort, rootedness, and again, advancing or grounding and building upon one's life. And that has a lot to do with roots in the home. So I'm really excited for you guys with that. Before I sign off, I want to let you know I have 2 2024 forecasts. One is a one-on-one reading with me where we go through month by month. We look at your year ahead. We plan things together. I give you my best advice. We kind of look at what's happened for you, and see how that carries over into the next year, if these things improve or they, stay the same or whatever. And then, so if you want that, if you want to have one-on-one guidance with me, you can check that out down below. I also have a Notion template where I list out all the transits and the energy of them. So if you want a DIY version, that's also available for much cheaper. So I hope to see you guys there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.